All right. Hey, welcome to BCB Live. Sir Rick, we got Buckle Up Bob. We have some technical difficulties. We're going to make some changes on air. That's what we do right here. You know what? When you're the safest in the nation, you just figure it out. Hope you all had a great weekend. Boy, do we have some subjects today that we're going to speak on. We got, obviously, a little bit of roll tide going on today. We have some football talk to talk about. Hey, we got Big Blue from BCB Transport. He's going to join us remotely as well. It's going to be a big show. We're going to talk some supply chain issues. We're going to talk a little bit of hunting. You know what? That Big Blue's a big hunter, and I got something for him to kind of see if I can catch him off guard or if this is something he's ever done before. But with that, we are back, and Buckle Up, Bob. Good morning to you. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning. Welcome. Glad to be back. Had a little sinus infection. Couldn't get a fever off. So we're good now, though.
You know what? Keep your distance from me, right, just in case. Yeah, right. You know what? I trust you. I know you're clean, but you know what? Just stay away from me. Because I don't even know if it matters. You know what, producer? I'm going to ask you this. You think there's any truth that if I go around and just lay hands on people, and I'm not claiming to be the Messiah, but I am claiming there's something in this blood, there's something in my touch that just cleans you up and makes you feel a little better.
You know, I'm gonna have to take Drive Safe Dave's stance on this and be like, maybe we shouldn't. Isn't this sacrilege? There's something. I don't want to get struck by lightning in the back of the studio here. Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't think we're grounded back here. I really don't want to get struck by lightning today. I'm okay.
You know what? I'm not going that way, but I'm a close second. How about that? Close second. You know what? And I think that alone. Hey, producer, welcome back to you as well. Your hair's grown out a little bit. You look like he's aged a little bit. It's been years since we've seen you. I haven't seen you since last year, that I can say.
Yeah, I will say I'm older, wiser. I've got gray hairs now.
Oh my
goodness. I can see my hairline pulling back by the second. So, pretty soon it'll probably be shaved off once it really starts thinning out there, and it's just that's going to be that.
You know what? Welcome to our age. If I feel like you're right there in that era now. Hey, so where have you been and what's been going on, and tell us a little bit about your time off.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I was just kind of visiting some family. Obviously, the holidays were all over the place the past couple weeks. So my family, I should say my parents, don't live up here in Fort Worth anymore. They're down in Corpus Christi. So my girlfriend and I flew down, and we visited them for, we celebrated our Christmas on New Year's this year. So went down there and got to see them, spent a lot of time, a lot of forced family fun. It was a good time. We had the whole family there. Celebrated our Christmas and New Year's on the same day, which was pretty fun. Made some sushi while we were down there, just kind of hung out. And it was really nice weather, actually. It was like 80 degrees and sunny. On New Year's Day, it was great. And then just been kind of back up here, getting ready to come.
Well, welcome back to the real world. Welcome back to our world of work. You know what? It's what we do. Buckle up, Bob. Listen, we got some things we're going to jump into. I just feel like I don't know whether to go sports, whether to go hunting. We got Big Blue on the line. Maybe we can bring in Big Blue and go over some hunting.
Yeah.
We can go over some sports, and we can go over a little bit of supply chain as well. And there he is, Big Blue. He's even got a blue shirt on. He got blue shirts, he got blue eyes, and gray hair. What's going on, Big Blue?
Didn't he have blue hair at one time?
What's up, guys?
There he is. Nothing, sir. Just going over some things. And, I know you're a sports junkie. I know you're the hunter of all hunters. But I got something for you right here. Over in Pennsylvania.
Get this in here. See the A? I got the A ready for the day, baby.
There you go.
Does that say Georgia?
That says Roll Tide. I like it, man.
I go with my partner.
I like it. You know what? Buck, you got some Roll Tide colors on, kind of, sir?
I'm going for the Bulldogs.
Oh, gosh. All right. So
Bob,
Big...
please update your
resume.
Monday.com.
Go ahead and update that, please.
Monster.com.
Monster.com. Calling out Buckle Up Bob. Hey, Big Blue. So here we go. So we have, let's just jump in the NCAA football championship tonight. Bama, Georgia. Who are you picking and why?
Okay, so I want to go with Alabama for personal reasons, but anyways, I want to say Alabama by 10, and I'm going to go with the Nick Saban factor. So Nick Saban has been the underdog 3 times in his entire collegiate career since he's been at Alabama. 2 to 3 times, Georgia was the favorite on that. So we know what happened. Alabama's won all 3. Alabama's already beaten Georgia this year. Alabama's playing the strongest at this point. I see no reason for a 10-point victory, and that's only because Georgia's going to score late. It's going to be around 17. Georgia's score late, and Alabama, I want to go 37, 35. No, I'll go 38.
Doing the math right now.
Yeah, 38, 28, somewhere right in there. I think it's going to be somewhere there. I don't know. I think Alabama's going to win by 10, and they're going to score close to 40 points.
All right. I don't think you got a believer out of Buckle Up Bob yet, but I will go and say this is you talk about the Saban factor and you think about the last time, one of the last. Well, let's just go back to the Georgia game at the NCAA championship in which Saban comes out at halftime and makes arguably maybe the biggest or the greatest coaching decision ever. He puts in Tua in that halftime game in which they come in and win the championship. You remember that, Buckle Up?
Yes,
Bob?
I do. And there is something to be. Saban is the best coach out there. There's no, I mean, you can't even argue it. He is the greatest coach out there. I just feel it's Georgia's time. 31-27 Bulldogs.
What, you know what? Whatever. We're looking for a new host tomorrow. If anybody wants to come in here, probably a new safety position ever. It sounds like. Hey, but Big Blue, we have the NFL as well.
31-29.
What'd he say?
Hey, what about that NFL weekend? We had Pittsburgh, and we talked about that earlier today. That was nuts. I mean, Pittsburgh was a shoo-in. They win. All these 2 teams that can't do is tie. You know, the Raiders and the Chargers, and they go into overtime.
Hey, who won? I did not stay up for that game. Who won the Raiders-Chargers game?
Raiders.
Raiders win. They play at Cincinnati.
Yep.
Wow. So I thought the game of the day was definitely the Rams and that was a 49ers. Great game, man.
That was amazing.
San Francisco came back. San Francisco has beat them now 6 times in a row. 6 times.
Yeah.
They're in their same division. So they hadn't beat them in 3 years. My chili would be hot, boy.
That is crazy. All right, so quick fix. Let's just get it done right now. So here we go this weekend. Raiders and Bengals. I'm taking Bengals.
It's at Cincinnati,
Bengals.
Correct?
It is.
Yeah, Bengals.
Okay, I'm taking Raiders.
All right, we got a Raiders and 2 Bengals. We're recording this, so we're going to go back and see what happened. We have Patriots at the Bills. I'm taking the Bills.
Bills.
Well, what about the coach there? I mean, you go with the coach in the college. How come not go with the coach in this?
Because he has a rookie quarterback. That's why.
But he's from Alabama, who won, he's from Alabama.
And he's also thrown like 7 picks in the last 5 games. So
Yeah,
he has not played well.
He's throwing them all over. All right, the Eagles going against the Buccaneers. No-brainer, Bucks.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
They're going to get crushed. The Bucks are going to crush them.
I'm saying that
They're
and
going to beat
the
them by
points.
10-plus points.
I'll take the Bucks, but I think that's going to be closer than you think.
Oh, man. Then
Absolutely. That is the Tom Brady factor. They will not. It'll be a 10-point plus victory.
Easy there. And,
all right.
and
I remember
Philly,
you said that.
They do not have a quarterback. I don't care. Again, he's from Alabama, too, some of his time. All right, what about those Steelers at the Chiefs?
Oh, Chiefs. I mean,
sorry, Heather, the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs, no brainer on
Ben
that.
Roethlisberger. Hey, this will be Ben Roethlisberger's last NFL game, too.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard the interview or not, but he was talking about his last game, which was yesterday, and he said it just didn't feel like his last game. I bet you he changes his mind for this upcoming Sunday. I bet he's got that feeling that this is my last game. So I'm right with you. We take the Chiefs in that game. Cardinals at the Rams.
Ooh, toughest game.
No, I think the Rams will beat them. And for the only reason is the defensive side of the ball. The Rams do have a pretty solid defense. Now, they can be scored on, but I mean, in the end, they do have the total package. They have Von Miller. They got the best defensive lineman, 99. What's his Donald?
Yeah, he's mean.
And then also they might have the best cover corner out there right now. So they do have the total package. I think it's about Matthew Stafford not giving the ball away. As long as he doesn't give the ball away.
Who is that defensive guy, Brian? Is that Donald or
Donaldson?
Is it
Donaldson.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's mean.
Yeah,
that dude's a stud.
Yeah, he's stud. All right.
I'm going with the Cardinals.
49ers at those Dallas Cowboys. We're saving the pick for last. Big Blue?
Oh, there's only one color out there, guys.
Thank you.
Cowboys.
Thank you. Cowboys around. I like that part. So big game again tonight. We have Roll Tide winning tonight. Big Blue's called that 10 points as well. All right, Big Blue, I know you went hunting this weekend. I got a hunting story for you. So over in Pennsylvania, there's a 19, 20-year-old driving around, gets pulled over for like a suspected DUI, drugs or something like that. The cops go over there, they look at him, and he's got a deer that he had found or hit or something like that in the back. And nothing real crazy about that, just a dead deer, except the deer's not dead. The deer's alive, and they knew it was alive. And the cops say, all right, dude, listen, your first test on this DUI is you got to get the deer out of the hatchback. And here he is right here. Watch this thing. Come on, baby, get him. He's going to get him. There he is. Look.
What is he doing?
Wow.
Release, catch and release. It's like fishing.
Come on, you're a West Texas guy. Certainly you've tried something like that.
I am going to be honest. I have done some pretty ignorant things in my lifetime, but I have not been a part of catch and release on a whitetail deer.
The sucker was alive, and I don't know how the thing's not going crazy.
How did he pull that off?
Yeah.
Did he hit him and knock him out? I don't know what happened there.
Only I can think of it. It was cold. Awesome. That deer was like, you know what? I'm freezing out here right now. I've been hit. I'm a little wounded. I'm going to get in the back of that hatchback, just play dead, and maybe go to sleep in the warmth of the hatchback.
Oh, man.
That's an excellent one right there. I can appreciate that. So, hunting report from West Texas this weekend. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's like one of the worst I've hunted in a good while. 79 degrees on Saturday night. So we're fighting off. I think I saw more wasps than I did deer. And then we did kill a doe. And then on Sunday morning, we had a 22-mile-an-hour steady wind out of the north. And the animals do not like coming out in a windstorm. So we did see deer. We shot another doe, but it was just not an impressive weekend. Saw hogs. Did not see any turkey. I was a little disappointed on that part, but overall, it just wasn't that good. Pretty disappointing. But anyways, moving on.
Well, you know what? We have the hunting. Then we're going to jump right into it. So Big Blue, Brian Wazowski, president of BCB Transport. Brian, we're going to jump right into a little bit of supply chain. Surprise, surprise. It's the big news of 2022 already. And we look at that, and we're going to go into what they're saying on the home building right now. Those home builders now are going in and saying, hey, listen, we are falling behind. It's as bad as it's ever been right now, with 90% of the home builders saying we are behind. That's starting 2022 compared to 75% of those in 21. So already supply chains are, and those are the driver shortage, supply shortages. We talk about the stuff out there on the coast. But Brian, what it's doing is it's forcing some of these new home owners to move in without a garage door. Some of these houses don't even have windows yet, and they're limiting their supplies on what they can order. And I know you were part of that. The big freeze from last year is cause of some of the resin, and who would have thought about that? So paint's an issue right now because of the big freeze in Texas last year, where most of the resin comes out of. Well, they're behind. They didn't produce as much. I guess that frozen resin doesn't do the same thing as normal resin. But Big Blue, what are you seeing as we start the brand new year of 2022 in the transportation side?
I see a lack of power on the road, 100%. Power, you have Omicron taking over. You have this new, the new one out of the coronavirus. You have that reducing the power. You have owner operators not on the street as they were. So I see reduction in power is one of the bigger issues. And it could be from sickness. It could be from time off. That is the biggest thing I can see. The freight's out there. New equipment. It's not being built like it was. A lot of the newer built trucks from 2021 got pushed to 2022. I spoke with the vice president of sales and on the Volvo side Friday, I believe, Rick, if me and you were in that meeting together, and they're saying that 2022 sold out, 2023 is basically sold out, and then there's a new standard of truck coming out on the EPA side on 2024. So it's going to be a rough couple of years on the supply chain, without a doubt. I think new equipment coming out, trailers, trucks, it's going to be tough to get. They're going to be sold out. We're going to be dealing with the same problems that we're having right now, is what I believe. I don't think we have an end in sight right now. I think we'll have some alleviation coming. I think we'll get a little bit more power, especially in the spring on the streets, and we'll go from there. But I think our problem right now is a lack of power, just pushing the freight through from point A to point B.
Yeah, and buckle up, Bob. When we talked a little bit about that last week, and what we're seeing is in this new the Omicron, right? Is it moves through quick, or it's very contagious. How about that? Mm-hmm. And what we've really seen, and I think we've noticed it in producer. I don't know if we have any stories or videos on this, but is even the local place. I mean, you have grocery stores right now without food, and you just see it all over the place. You have Starbucks, putting up signs if there are no oat milk, no to this. None of this stuff's available.
Hey, Rick, let me chime in on Starbucks. So Bella, my daughter, suckered me into Saturday morning. She knew I was going out of town. It's like, hey, Dad, I really could use some Starbucks and a buttery croissant. I was like, yeah, whatever. I said, okay, all right. Since I'm gone, I'm not going to go watch play this weekend. All right, I'm good. I'm going to go. So I go to the Starbucks right here in Mansfield, Texas. And before you even walk in, it's an old school piece of paper, like out of order, taped on the door, and it's two pieces of paper listed. Hey, we do not have these items. Please understand. And it is a significant piece of paper. Then on the other side, it lists a couple more items, and then on the bottom of it says, by the time you order, we might have some additional things out too, so please be patient. I have never seen that ever in my life. I mean, it's just crazy.
I also saw another sign that says, yeah, I don't know why we're open either.
Yeah.
Wow.
Producer, what do you got on that?
As somebody who worked at a Starbucks, I don't even think this is a supply chain issue. This is just a Starbucks issue. We're always out. We never have enough. It's always going to be short. You're never going to get what you want. But you'll always get coffee sometimes.
Yeah, and so my mom, who's still at, God bless her, 74, 75. Mom, I don't know how old you are, and thank God you don't watch the show anyway. But she still works over at Long John Silver as a manager. She sent me a text. She goes, "Hey, I don't know if you have any drivers or not, but we can't get any of our food delivered. So maybe call the people, see if you can help them deliver the freight." And Brian, what it's doing though, it's really talking into, that segment of drivers, that local group, those drivers that are home every day, those guys that are working and delivering to the quick trips, to all these little stores around the place that see each other.
It's your last mile.
Right?
It's your last mile drivers. But that's also the toughest part too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so on the last mile driver typically has to unload the freight. So that's a different driver. That's a younger. Yeah, that's a younger group of driver, 100%. And that's a tough. That's your Budweiser delivery, your Pepsi, your Frito-Lay. It's these guys right there. And that's your last mile. Even on the appliance side, where Whirlpool and G, which we all do a lot of freight for on the BCB side, we have that. I mean, that's where that freight goes to, and they do the last mile, and they bobtail it out and install it, and they're having the same issue as well.
Yeah, those guys that see each other every day, the offices, all over. It doesn't matter if transportation or not. Those are the folks right now that it's running through. Their bubbles are just a little bit bigger than the over-the-road driver who doesn't really see a lot of people in the course of his or her day. And so you're seeing that final mile delivery, man, just getting beat up right now. It's absolutely out of control. Big Blue, when you what do you see as we go into, say, February? We're just around the corner. We got about 60 seconds. Do you see it changing at all from what we've seen in November?
No, I see no change. So is what they're stating is Omicron is going to peak, I think, at the end of February is what they're saying. So I see no change whatsoever. I think rejections will be high, freight will be in abundance, power will be restricted. I see no change at all. I don't even really see a whole lot of change through March, and then typically in our industry, you get through March, and then you get into April, and then you have all the spring freight come out, and then so we're going to be bottlenecked and continue to be bottlenecked. I think throughout 2022, I don't see a change in our supply chain for quite some time.
Yeah,
personally,
yeah, Brian, and to kind of mimic your point right there, as I'm looking right now just at the outbound tender volumes this year compared to last year, which was a very heavy January, February, March, we're trending even a little bit higher than we did last year as far as the freight volume goes. So yeah, so a lot of truth to that as we continue to have freight. The consumer needs haven't changed.
No.
Everybody still wants. So it's going to continue to come in. Hey, Big Blue, thanks for joining us on BCB Live. Hey, how about giving us a little, BCB Live, safest station in the nation before we go to break?
Man, okay, this is BCB Live, tuning out, going to break, safest station in the nation.
All right.
Hey, everybody, it's Drive Safe Dave here with
Yes, sir, Phil Bear,
BCB
we're
Live,
Buffalo Wild
the
Wings.
safest station in the nation.
Before you sit down,
as you know,
we're out of
winter is
bone-in
upon
wings,
us, and
we're
with
out of
winter
cheese
comes
curds.
some difficulties and challenges.
Yes,
Now, if you
they
live
have the
below or running below that
boneless, but
20 or
not
I-10
bone-in.
corridor, you may
And
not feel
so I
that
ordered, I
pressure,
said, well, I like
but
the
if you
10
do,
days.
let's talk about a few little tips that we have.
Yeah.
Tip number one, let's make sure we get over here and we drain these air tanks.
We have that, remember that?
Let's get that moisture out of there so that we make sure, because moisture and freezing cold temperatures don't mix. All they make is ice. Tip number two, remember when air temperature drops,
equipment
so does
shortages
pressure in these
because it's
tires.
gonna be a
You want to
big
make sure that
focus
when you
about
enter into
these
or
pre-trip
near
inspections
cold
on equipment.
temperatures, you
We're
make
just not gonna
sure
get
that your
That's
your
something I'm
tire pressure is and cold pressure stays correct throughout these cold temperatures. You want to be safe out there because this is where the rubber meets the road. Tip number three, if it's extreme weather and extreme cold conditions, you may want to make sure that you use an anticoagulant or an anti-gel inside the diesel fuel so that it thins and doesn't gel up on you in the lines or anywhere else. Tip number four, as you know, when you enter into the West, there are certain regions that require you to have snow chains and or snow socks in that region. Make sure that you carry them. And tip number five, I'm gonna give this one to you as a freebie. Carry with you a little bit of cat litter in your truck. That way, if you get a little bit stuck or if you get near a region that doesn't have a lot of grip, you can throw that down and give your truck that needed oomph to get out of those sticky or slippery situations. For more pertinent and safety information, you can always tune in Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time between 7 and 8 a.m. and get that needed information on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hey, welcome back to BCB Live, and you heard it in the commercial. We are the safest station in the nation. Hey, buckle up, Bob. I know we were talking about your weekend during the break, but I want to go into this real fast as we talk, kind of falling off of Big Blue's comments there a second ago, is that the St. Louis feds, well, they're trying to go back and look at the impact of the turmoil of the pandemic versus where we are today with this whole crisis. And I was going to bring up the one point here that I really like is, and I should have probably brought that up with Brian as well, but a 40-foot container, 40-foot container that was moving pre-pandemic was going for about $1,400. That was the cost. They go back to September of last year, and that same container that was $1,400 is on average, and this isn't, so there's prices higher, probably some lower, at $11,000.
Wow.
That same exact container. So when we think about the cost, we talk about homes as well. Home prices right now, and I'll just say that, are up 18%.
Crazy.
18% in November are the prices of home from last year. And buckle up, Bob. We talk about, the inflation. We talk about all of these things that are going, and I don't know, really when we're going to see an end to the pricing, because you're not going to have the trucks out. You're right. You're not going to have a big group of drivers all of a sudden deciding to drive. We're in for a little bit of a battle here.
I believe so too. Inflation is already starting to go up. I don't see that ending. My son-in-law's putting a one-bedroom addition on and then residing the house, and it was $91,000. I mean, it was crazy. You could, wasn't too long ago, that's about a half of a decent house payment, and they're just adding one room and siding, and it was just crazy. So, yeah, I don't see the end either. I think we're stuck for at least another 3 or 4 years, and then you got the fallout, right? As you start to correct, it takes another 3 to 4 years to correct that. So, yes, this could be a long haul.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And then you have, again, the supply shortage. We talked about the homes. Maybe there's no siding, no windows, none of these things doing. I know you went to eat this weekend over at where
Buffalo Wild Wings.
B-Dubs. And what was their comments to you when you walk in?
We walked in, it says, we're out of this, this, and this. So I said, okay, do you got chicken tenders? Because I love their chicken tenders. She goes, yes. I said, great. I'll have the chicken tenders and tater tots. She comes back, we're out of tater tots too. So we got up. I said, well, there's just really nothing here. Let's go find somewhere else.
Yeah. What
so
do you
we walked
order,
out.
a burger? I mean, you don't go to B-Dubs for a burger.
A burger? No.
And if correct me if I'm wrong here, Bob, but whenever you said that they were out of something, they're out of a key component at that Buffalo Wild
yes.
Wings. Bone-in wings.
Bone-in wings were out. We have the boneless, which is just processed chicken, battered, right? But no bone-in wings. So.
Yeah, well, we learned. We talked about that. I don't know if you remember that video or not, but back in the day when the guy went to the city council, I think it was in Minnesota or something like that. It's like, hey, listen, let's be honest with each other. A boneless wing is chicken breast. Or some processed chicken.
Yeah.
It's not a wing.
It's
not a wing. So here it is. B-Dubs is out. They're going to you saying, we have no wings.
All right.
Only boneless wings, whatever that is. And that's just craziness to think about the shortness of what we're seeing across. So I went to go make chili yesterday. Here you go. You got a video there? Here we go. Yeah, this is the guy right here that he's in front of the city council. And I guess it's the son of one of the city councilmen as well. But he did a great job. He made his point, and he was just trying to get them to ban saying, boneless chicken. Let's just call it what it is, a chicken breast or something like that. So it was greatness. I go to try to make chili yesterday. There's in here, we can go into a little debate about this, but there were no kidney beans. I mean, do you put beans in chili?
Yes, I had chili yesterday, and yes, we do put beans.
I guess everybody had chili yesterday because
I
I also had chili yesterday. Yeah,
I actually went to McAllister's and got it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not. I made my own trying to find kidney beans, so I went to 3 different stores trying to find it.
No worries.
And you
so
cannot find it.
Me.
No, it
Walmart
wasn't.
had them.
I put in some black beans and some pintos, and then I had to drive around looking for kidney beans, and eventually found it. I had to go to Trader Joe's for beans.
What?
Yeah.
What?
We found them at our Walmart.
I was looking there. I'm telling you, I looked at that shelves of beans for probably 20 minutes thinking, all right, I've got to be missing these. I mean, normally kidney beans are all over the place. I mean, nobody wants to eat them. So they had white kidney beans. I was like, you don't put that in chili.
No.
I mean, it may taste the same, but you don't put that in chili. So yeah, same issue on our side. Hey, do we have that phrase that pays for today? And thank God it's not my job to do, so buckle up, Bob. You have that phrase that pays.
We got the phrase that pays.
Pretty easy one, Bob,
Is
so you
it?
should be able to get
good.
it.
Leave sooner, drive slower, live longer.
One more time.
Leave sooner, drive slower, live longer.
Talk to us. What does that mean, buckle up, Bob?
That means plan. A lot of people wait till I used to have people that would always get to work 1 minute before, and I was like, you can leave 5 minutes earlier and not have to rush. Just plan. Plan for the slowdowns, plan for the breaks, leave sooner. That will allows you to drive slower and not make the quick decisions. And then you are going to arrive safer, right? Was that the last part? I forgot the last part already. But yes, you guys just slow the chaos down, as you like to say. I love that phrase. It really is. Just slow the chaos down.
Absolutely. We love it. Hey, this is BCB Live, and we have Buckle Up Bob coming up next with some weather and traffic reports on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong. Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety. One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 10th National Championship Day. I know Sir Rick is going with the Tide, so hopefully all you out there get to see a great game this evening. We're going to start you off this Monday on the 10th with a little bit of traffic. And again, the DFW area looks pretty good as you start out your commute this morning. The Fort Worth side looks great. There's nothing on 35W, even passing through the downtown area. Very minimal slow down here as the 121. Which is usually a big congestion point. Still is, but it's just not quite as bad as typical mornings. 30 east and westbound looks good, as well as 20. And up on the northern part of it, 183 also looks good. The Dallas loops looks really good. Richardson, a little bit of a slowdown. And 30 coming into Dallas from the east. You've got a little bit of a slowdown there after you cross the lake and you cross inside the 635 loop. So, again, if you can, take the loop. It might be your best bet, especially if you're going south instead of going through the downtown Dallas area. 35E, 45 all look clear this morning as you start your commute in the DFW area. As we go to Houston, Houston looks pretty good as well. The loop looks great. Just really nothing going on. 45, you got a couple of slowdown areas in both directions. So again, just outside of 290, on the northern side there, you've got some, looks like some heavy traffic there, major slowdown. Some really dark maroon, so probably an accident that's got traffic stopped. And then on the coming up from the south, on the northbound from the southern part on 45 also has a little bit of slowdown as you reach the inner 610 loop. Inside Houston, a little bit of traffic as well. But the loops all look great, so if you can, stay on the outer edges and go around the city, and you should be great this morning in the Houston area. Kansas City looks great. There's just nothing going on. I mean, there's just hardly any red dots at all. So, and if they are, they're very small. So you're not going to see any slowdowns really as you come into the Kansas City area. 70 looks great on both sides. The 435 loop looks great, and 35 passing through from the north and the south all looks great as you come into the Kansas City area this morning. Chicago. Wow. Chicago looks great. I mean, there's just nothing except extreme downtown. So again, you look great. 80 or 90 up on the northern side is good. A little bit of a slowdown here coming in Addison. And then 80, 94 at the southern part. Looks good on the Indiana-Illinois border. 355 looks good. 55 in and out looks good at Bolingbrook all the way into the inner city. And 94 coming up from the south looks great as well. So Chicago, you've got a great commute this morning. Atlanta looks pretty good for Atlanta. So again, the loop looks really good. Always a problem here in Sandy Springs up in the northern part. So if you're up there, you will see some of the no more typical slowdown. And we've got a little bit of a problem coming in from the west, the eastbound lane of 20, all the way from 278. It looks like it's backed up from 285 all the way back to 278 merge points. So again, be careful. Pack your patience there. Stay in your lanes where you can, folks. Plan ahead. When you know you've got to get out at a merge point, do it a mile or two ahead. Try not to wait till the last minute so that you can be out there and you can be real patient. The rest of the city looks good. 20 looks good. Stonecrest, a little slowdown. 85, we have a little bit of a slowdown coming in from the east as well. It's orange, so again, you're just going to see that stop and go traffic, but just be patient as you come into the Atlanta area this morning. Philadelphia looks really good. Again, always a problem coming back to Conshohocken. So we've got a little bit of a backup all the way through there, some stop and go traffic. Some stop and go traffic along the river here coming into the Philadelphia area. And the New Jersey side looks really good. Deptford looked a little bit of a slowdown there, but the rest of the New Jersey side, 95, the Turnpike, all looks great. And a little bit, 495 looks good as well on the southern part of Philadelphia. Your only problem is going to be the Turnpike, 76 and 276 as you come into the city from the northwest. We go to Nashville. Nashville, looks like we got a lot of issues this morning on Nashville, so let's shrink that a little bit. So again, you got 40, a problem there, a big problem on the 24, all the way up to 65 split. This is all on the southbound side, as you can maybe can't see, but all the red is on the southbound side on 24 as you're heading south towards this split. 24 looks pretty good coming up from the south, and 40 looks pretty good on the western side of it as well. A little bit of slowdown if you're on 705, the U.S. highway there. But again, the rest of it looks good. The loop looks pretty good. A little bit of a slowdown here on the southwestern corner. But the big problem is going to be this 24 from the 40 loop all the way up to the 65 split. We got some major delay, and that is on the southbound. Heading out of the city, not a problem at all. Baltimore looks really good. A little bit of a slowdown in Towson and Parkville in both directions, so nothing too bad there. As you come down to the DC, 95, 295, all look clear, connecting. And you got just a little bit of a slowdown on the westbound lanes on Silver Spring, and then a little bit of a slowdown in Annandale. But other than that, the Baltimore and Washington, D.C. area looks really good this morning. So again, enjoy it. Be patient out there. Let's keep it that way for the rest of your morning commute. Indianapolis looks phenomenal. A little bit maybe of a construction or something here down here on 37, but everything else looks great. 70. East and west side of the city looks good. The loop is clear. There's nothing going on the loop. 74, 65, 69. All of the highways, the major interstates going in and out of Indianapolis look clear this morning. So Indianapolis, you guys have a great commute this morning. As we go into our weather's going to be, we get a little bit of break. We had extreme cold. I think we still got some cold temperatures out there. So we'll just kind of take a peek at the current ones. There you go. So you kind of see the cold snap is still here, extremely south. The Dallas area, 28, right in the 30s. So you got to get really down along the Gulfs and the West Coast to get into them 50s and 40s. But as we go through the day, you'll see the forecast is to warm up quite a bit. There you can see the blue really shrinks a lot. Kind of stays to the northern half or third of the country as a warm trough comes through there. And then as we go into Tuesday, let's see what about 3 or 4. So you can see it kind of widens in the middle and then pushes off to the northeast. You're still going to be in the 20s. The big news is the precipitation. You're just not going to see much for the next few days. Let me, I think I zoomed it out on you a little bit. There we go. So you kind of see today at 3 p.m., just some snow showers on the lakes, the Great Lake, the lake effect snow. Not really supposed to be a problem. Little bit of a disturbance out there in the northwest. As we go into Tuesday, you can see not much. This kind of dries up a little bit more. That stays where it is. And even when we get into Wednesday morning, just not a lot going on. So we're going to get a good break on our weather. Even the wind, I'll start and work backwards. You can see Wednesday, not much wind to speak of. Tomorrow in the afternoon, really nothing there as well. And then when we go into today, again, a little bit of wind. You're in the 30, 35 mile an hour gusts up here in the northeast where the some of the light snow might be the lake effect snow, but the wind is also going to be died down as well. So, folks, we got a good 2 or 3 days, but let's not ruin it, right? Still practice your patience, keep your speed down, your space, increase it, right? And then you'll be a safer driver out there, and you will make others around you safer. I know they get impatient, but they have more space to do it in. They're going to be impatient. You can't fix that, but just be patient. The weather is great for you all out there to have a great start to the week. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with some more safety.
Hi, this is David Dover, also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Safety is what you want to talk about, and safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better. The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
You got to be prepared to stop. And when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live today.
Rick Larkin here, host of BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. If you don't already know about Freight and Review, it's a segment I cover once a week where I analyze freight rejections, freight tenders, driver productivity, and much, much more. You can watch Freight and Review on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live. Welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. Easily our favorite part of the day is when we get together and talk about safety. And buckle up, Bob. I know we've got a lot of things going on. We've got a driver shortage, right? We have equipment failures and not be able to get them out of the shop. We have all of these things, and sometimes in our minds means that we've got to go faster. There's the traffic, there's construction. I've got to drive faster to get to my place. And sometimes you have that mindset, and it's only 10 miles an hour. I know the winds are blowing, right? And I'm only driving 65 instead of 55. I know the curve says 15, but I'm going to go 25. Talk to us a little bit about those decisions right there.
Yeah, and these are all conditions that when we say too fast for conditions, most of the time we think about traffic, we think about weather. That's really kind of where we limit it. But we're going to talk this week a lot about every one of those things, curves, right? The equipment. You know, you're right, Sir Rick. We get in our heads that, okay, I got delayed, now I got to make it up. And that's just that false sense of reality that you can make up time. Once time is gone, it's gone. You cannot make it up. And it's critical that you understand that so that you don't trick yourself into being unsafe, thinking that you are still being safe by trying to speed and go faster to make it up, because you just can't do it.
Now, I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to throw some numbers at you out there. So when I go back and I'll track different fleets throughout what we do in the industry, and on average, okay, a fleet, and again, I'm going to stick to the same group of drivers, but an over-the-road fleet, while driving, drivers that go truly over the road, they average at between 58.1 and 58.3 miles per hour. And Bob, it doesn't matter what happens. Every single day, the average is between 58.1 and 58.3 miles per hour. And what it goes to show you is that, you know, no matter what happens, it's going to average out to about the same. That going faster really isn't going to do anything. You're going to average around the same. Mm-hmm. Get that in your mind, right? We talk about packing your patience is, hey, you know what? What's the most important thing is to drive control, drive within that realm, because in the course of 7 days, in the course of your 70 hours, you're going to drive around the same.
Yeah. And one of the statistics I found, which was really quite alarming to me because I just didn't realize it was there. We talk about the curves. We've seen the videos, right? But 40% of speed-related fatalities happen on curves. Oh, that really kind of blew me away a little bit. So it is one of those things where you've got to recognize your situation and realize the curves are dangerous. You know, speeding. Again, this is speeding-related fatalities happen in curves, not accidents in general. But it's just when you're speeding, we talk all the time about entering that curve too fast. More fatalities happens on a speeding vehicle in a curve than almost anywhere else at 40%. I thought that was alarming.
Yeah, that's alarming. You think about the distracted driving. You're talking about the phone usage. You're talking about just your mind going crazy, and you come across a curb, or you're coming on a curb, and you think about it, if you're distracted during those times, that's also the same time you miss it, right? You go into the next lane, and you hit somebody else, or something bad happens. And boy alive, I tell you, as we go into 2022, I think, when we talk about the we talk about these curves that, you know what? If we can focus a little bit on the distraction, it's going to take away some of these things, these lane change accidents, right? The curb, the even driving too fast for the conditions. Yes. If you're not distracted, I'm not saying just cell phone usage.
No.
Right? I'm talking about just in general, listening to the radio, whatever it is a form of distraction. Your mind is a distraction. We know, that can be a big distraction.
Yeah, it happened to me this morning, actually, almost, and I got lucky, but I don't even know what I was thinking of, but I was watching a car in the lane next to me, and we're approaching a red light. And the car's not slowing down, and I'm just kind of going, I'm behind it in the lane left, and then the light changed green right as I got to it. Now, I think I'd have been able to stop, but I'd had to slam on the brakes, possibly cause a rear-end accident, but it was just like, where was my mind at, So it does happen. It's just something that we're all human. We got to guard against it. And that's what we want to do on the show is bring these things up that you don't take them for granted. They're real, and they're going to happen to you, but you've got to be ready for it. You've got to practice whatever it takes to get that situation out of your head and pay attention to what's going on in front of you. It's very easy to do that.
For sure. We have any videos we can hop into?
We do. And we got some that are going to show some of those things, too. Again, get the big picture here, Nice job getting the big picture, and then we got to make the lane change, okay? Maybe wait a little bit later. We were tailgating there, okay? So we want to, hey, he's coming over. His signal was on, or hers. Just back off right here.
Yeah, and it may be a little aggressive approach on there, and I don't know why now this driver has their brakes on. Are we tailgating and they're getting upset and they keep their brakes on? I don't know about that, but buckle up, Bob. You bring up a good point. Regardless, right now, that car jumped in front of us, had its blinker on, still jumped in front of us. We've got to recognize this and back off and then make the lane. Back off. You always have to protect that space in front of you. And when this happens, Bob, there's no chance that we're protected, right?
No, none at all. Zero. Here again, traffic intersections, right? Great speed and space.
Green a long time. I'm just calling that right now.
Yep, there it goes to yellow. And able to stop. Good job getting the big picture. You can still see the crosswalk. Everything's really good here.
Boy, that warms my heart when I see videos like this. You know what? I was waiting for you to show me somebody running it because it was green for a long time. And when it's green for a long time, and you all know what that is, that means it's going to turn yellow. And right now, this driver recognizes that this is green. And you know what? It's going to take a lot of luck to get through this. So I better start preparing to slow down. And what happens? He or she, they slow down and they stop. And this seems to be a simple move, Bob. But it's a life-protecting move, and it's something that we continue to talk about.
Yes, and you are affecting the traffic around you. That's the thing to really understand. When you do this, you are slowing everybody else down. Great job. Here again, merge points. We're going to talk about too fast for conditions. Merge points are a big point, okay, and we'll give some statistics later on. Great job packing some patience here. Able to stop. Look at the distance. Great job. Not trying to make a lane change. And now it looks like some courtesy going on. I would almost say curiosity, but and letting them in. Just great job, drivers.
Yep,
I know that. Pack that patience.
For sure. And we all know that I don't want to say the dangers, but there are dangers when you're in that right lane. You have all the traffic merging. You just have to be patient. You have to be ready to go. You really have to increase your visibility because things like this are going to happen. If you're in that middle lane or the left, then you're not going to see as much of this. You still got to be ready for somebody to jump out in front of you.
Yep.
But maybe we're getting off up here in the next exit or two. We got to stay in that right lane. I get that, but I'm just going to say kudos again to the driver because while they're in that right lane, they know what's expected of them, buckle up, Bob.
Yeah.
They're slowing down. They're letting traffic in. We see some courtesy there, letting the white car out in front of them. kudos again, another patch of honor from BCB Live to another driver. Great job.
Yeah, we talked a few months ago, but you always want, one of the things to avoid aggressive driving, they said one of the best things you can do is always yield the right of way, never take it. And we saw that in that video, yielding that right of way to all those vehicles. Here it looks like an accident, you know, a pretty bad one. Man, I hope that person's all right. Looks like somebody is laying on the highway. Folks, if you get nothing out of these videos, remember what we're saying, protect life. This is how precious what you do out there can and how you can affect others.
Yes, and you know, again, we see the lights up there. We merge into the right-hand lane. We slow it down a little bit. You know, considerable. You know, people look at there's somebody crossing the road right there.
Yep.
We see that person in the car. It's important again when we see these lights, these you know, that we slow it down.
Yes.
We give those emergency vehicles, the cars, the four-wheelers, whatever it is, we give them that space that they need. And you know, I guess at first I thought I saw the like sirens out there, but this I don't see.
Looks fairly new.
Yeah, there's just people out here just pulled over doing what they can to protect life. It looks like.
Oh, your thought. Hopefully he is all right, or she, whoever that was. But again, it's what we do here. Nothing else matters, folks. I know sometimes it gets frustrating when your fleet says you can't drive, right? It's too dangerous. But it's not about the weather. It's about protecting life. Your life matters, and I want you all to think about that when you're out there. When companies make these decisions, and when you make them, nothing else matters but protecting the life. The life is precious. I mean, you can't get it back. Just like time, you can't make it up. You can't bring life back, right? So protect it. Protect it as it is, and you can do that by slowing down, practicing your patience, and being increasing that space.
Yeah, and it's just some great videos from the weekend that we saw today, and we want to make sure that you continue to do your part. And again, that does mean what Buckle Up Bob said is packing those patients in, being ready, expected the unexpected, slow down the chaos, whatever it is. It all requires action. It's something we want to make sure that you continue to do, continue to work on. When you look at the film, the videos that we show, again, what they're there for is just to give you reminders that of ways to improve your skill. It's not to pick on anybody. No. It's not to say, man, look at these videos, because, you know, Buckle Up Bob, like you and me, we take a 10, 15, 30-minute drive into work, and within today and your drive in, you had a distraction.
Yes.
We, the drivers out here, y'all are driving for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Mm-hmm. And we're asking you, yes, we're asking you to stay alert, to stay, you know, to stay undistracted that entire time, because in the matter of a second, life can happen. In the matter of a second, you can lose focus, and it doesn't mean it's always going to be a fatality.
No.
But you know what? Maybe it's now you're not looking at the blind spot. You know, you forgot that there was a car there next to you. You saw it the whole time. Your mind got distracted. Now you didn't do what you could to make sure that car's still not there in that blind spot, and you merge over. You hit the car. It goes over the thing, and nobody's hurt. Nobody. But again, it's going to take that time. And you know, one thing we want to do is just continue to work on ways to reduce our chances for an accident. And we do know this is that distractions play a major role in all of that.
Yes. And in this day and age, I think there's more distractions than anything. You have so much to worry about. We've talked about shortages, supply chains, COVID, home stuff. You know, there's just so much to occupy your minds out there. So we're not saying it's easy, but one thing we want to make is all of you to get better, right? Your job's not getting any easier, but you all are getting better out there.
Yeah, you can feel the extra pressure. And if you're a dispatcher and you're watching this show right now, listen, you're going to be under some stress right now. And the stress I'm talking about is that you're going to have customers yelling at you. Customer service, I'm talking to you as well, because that load was supposed to be there on Friday, and here it is Monday, and it's still not there. And guess what? You're out more drivers, perhaps. Perhaps 2 or 3 more people called in sick. And at this moment, while we say 2 or 3, boy, any driver really does matter when you take them out of that supply chain right now. You as a dispatcher may feel the pressure, okay, to put some more pressure on that precious driver. And I'm telling you, don't do it. you can only do what you can do. You can get creative now. You can find ways to get that driver more miles, but what you don't want to do is make them feel pressured to drive fatigue, to run faster, man, this load's hot. To take those hot buttons out, right? Those buttons that create, unfairly create a sense of urgency on a driver. And as a driver manager, as an operations manager, as a VP, as anybody, it is absolutely your job to try to not let it go down to the next person. And when I say that, buckle up, Bob, I'm saying you as a operations manager, as a CSR, you can't make, and you know those loads are hot, right? I mean, you're the one that's getting yelled at by that customer saying, where are my French fries at? I got people out here. Where's my milk? I can't serve my coffee. The Starbucks folks, whatever that is, what you've got to do is realize that you can't put pressure on people to try to make them put pressure on somebody else to run faster than they should. Get creative. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of ways to get creative to get a lot more freight delivered. However, what you don't want to do is unfairly put that on the drivers, and where that driver feels like, I've got so many people out sick, I've got to drive faster, I've got to move quicker, and if I'm unloading or reloading, I've got to do it quicker, and I may slip and fall. Yes. And then all of a sudden we're out another driver. Slow down that chaos. Make a business decision. Make a purposeful decision to do what you can to make it the best, right? But always make sure that you're putting safety as your number one. No matter what, that load can get delivered tomorrow. We may not like it, but we don't like an accident either. And at the end of the day, we're going to take life all day over a load. Buckle up, Bob. You want to close us out with a prayer?
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for another blessed week that you've granted each and every one of us. Lord, protect our drivers, protect their families, protect the customers, protect everybody on the highway, Lord. Let them make good decisions. Let them slow down the chaos, Lord, and just be safe out there. Protect life in every decision, the precious life that you've granted. Lord, we ask all of this in your Son's name. Amen.
Everybody, we're going to see you this afternoon. Make it a safe one. Make today count. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.